Hey, what's up? This is Raven, another NFL Clash video. So unfortunately, I recorded this video already, except I didn't turn my microphone on. So I recorded a whole video over nothing. Fantastic. So the video basically is about the new patch that's coming out. By the time you watch this, it's probably going to be out. I'm going to assume with the Wagner Thomas event coming out tomorrow, I guess they're going to implement it all at once. So we will. I'm going to talk about it in this video. I'll show a replay of a game that I played before while I talk over the video. So basically, God willing, that this patch will show up tomorrow with the event. I just want to talk about a couple things. So number one of the things that they fixed is the glitch where you throw the pass down the field, your guy catches it, but then all of a sudden it says you were sacked. Very annoying. That's going away. Thank God they fixed that. I don't know exactly how that, what's going to happen, but apparently it's not going to happen anymore. You're either sacked or he's catching the ball. Simple as that. All right, so the second thing is where, maybe you could see it in this game if we watch right here. The defensive line kind of just phases right through the offensive line. Like, they don't lock up and they chase down your quarterback. And it looks like they might have fixed it. That looks pretty good there as I'm running this touchdown. Maybe not. But there was a glitch where defensive linemen would just phase through the offensive line and chase down your quarterback, and that kind of sucked when you were on the 1 or 2 yard line, and it was pretty much an easy safety, especially if you had auto pass. So that's not going to happen anymore. So what's going to happen is that the defensive line and offensive line are both going to lock up, and the defensive linemen they're going to try to make their way around the offensive line and get at the quarterback. All right, so the next thing, wide receivers. Okay, so pretty much the same thing. One of the players I hate to play the most are guys that hide receivers behind the offensive line. I can't stand it. So where you think you have everybody covered, and all of a sudden, a guy sneaks out through the offensive line and he's wide open for a pass. I can't stand it. Hate playing people like that. But people think it's a good strategy to use, and people win games like that. So anyway, that's going away also. Now you can still do that. People will still do that, but the difference is it's almost like the same. The last thing I spoke about, receivers will now have to find a way through the offensive line or defensive line. So there's no more phasing through the line and then making themselves open. If there's a guy in front of him, he's going to have to go around him. It's simple as that. So that's going to maybe delay a guy's route, and something you might have to think about if you do that. Guy might not be where you want him to be because he's being held up by the line. Okay, so another thing is we might have a nerf to Malcolm Humphrey, but specifically to man-to-man cornerbacks in general. Marlon Humphrey, sorry, not Malcolm. I don't know what I was thinking. Thinking of Malcolm Jenkins. Marlon Humphrey. So what happens is in a man-to-man corner, if you place him up by the line, he locks up with the receiver, jams him up, and delays his route. So they're not going to do that, sort of. So let me explain. A lot of guys like to line him up like 10 yards back and have him lock up a guy down the field. That's illegal in regular football, and the NFL Clash team realized that that's probably not the best thing to have in the game. So what happens is they're still going to, man-to-man corners are still going to lock up at receivers. They're just not going to do it down the field, which is great. But here's the thing: if you have to put them up on a line. Like right now, I'm throwing Adoree Jackson up on his receiver, which is Kenny Galladay, and he'll jam him right here on the left here, and then, no, he's just gonna phase right through him. So anyway, a man-to-man corner will sit there and hold him up because I put him up on the line. If you hold him back, he's not going to do that. But here's the thing. So a regular man-to-man, he's just going to shadow the guy unless you call a blitz. If you call a blitz, he will lock him up and then let him go. If you play a normal defense, he's just going to, I don't want to say let him go, but he's just going to, do what he does, man-to-man cover. He's going to cover the guy man-to-man. Let me see here on the right. I have Patrick Peterson far right up on the guy. See, he locks him up and then he pushes him off and the guy runs. So now what's going to happen is he's going to lock the guy up if you call a blitz only, or have him up on the line. If he's off the line, he's just going to follow him, and cover him how normally. So that could possibly lead to a nerf on guys like that. Okay, another huge glitch was the getting your pass knocked down after you thought you completed like a 70-yard pass, where it just looked like your guy's wide open and all of a sudden it's knocked down. They're getting rid of that. Thank God. That animation was terrible. And it just looks so unrealistic. So what they're going to do is, it's still you still have a chance of getting your pass knocked down, but only if the defender is in the throwing lane. So if you're chasing a quarterback around and he's throwing the ball, he's going to get that ball out every time. If you if you're in the passing lane, and like if your quarterback's in the pocket and he throws and you have a guy, you got a guy in his face, he's gonna knock it down. They're gonna change the animation, so I've seen it. It actually looks pretty good. See it on the NFL Clash YouTube page where it explains everything that's going on. I'm gonna try one more time. I had a problem getting this replay to work. It's gonna get to 90% and then stop. Yeah. All right. Well, whatever. It's not gonna work. Whatever. I ended up playing the same guy. I guess he re-queued up, and this was a good game, and I guess I can't play it. All right. So whatever. We're gonna get into the last one now. It's all on power runners. Guys like Derrick Henry. I have Mark Ingram here. Guys that run up the middle. So his he's a power runner. It says RB, running back, that looks for gaps in the middle of the offensive line and has the maximum number of potential broken tackles. Not so much the broken tackle thing. It's the fact that he just wants to run up the middle and then get tackled immediately. Kendricks kills these kind of players. If we look up Derrick Henry real quick, what's Henry, right? Even with the steamroller, he gets counted by Kendricks. Again, so he looks for gaps in the middle of the offensive line. Okay, so anyway, the thing with this is they're not going to run into the first player they see and get tackled. What happens is it's going to exactly do what it says. It's going to look for gaps in the middle of the offensive line. If there is no gap in the offensive line, he's going to go around it. So basically, he's not going to run into the first person he sees and gets tackled. A guy like Derrick Henry, for example, that sucks because he's a good player. He's a 7 energy guy, and if the defense stacks up a lot of linemen in front of him, he's not going to go anywhere. Believe me, this guy would be ridiculous if he was an outside runner, and it's possible that he could turn into potentially an outside runner and be Saquon Barkley Part 2. So basically, long story short, they're no longer going to run right into the middle line and get tackled. If there's a hole there, they're going to go for it. And if their special is unlocked where he can break a tackle or break multiple tackles, he'll do it. But a guy like Ingram doesn't have that. So basically, he'll run. If he can break a tackle, he will. But if he doesn't, he will try to go around them. So that, that might be, maybe more strategic in trying to defend him. Maybe more guys will use him or use him correctly. Like I said, I used him in the beginning because I was excited to have, a 7 energy, tough guy, so to speak. But in the beginning of the game when it first started, it was great because guys didn't know, how to counter him. If Kendricks wasn't on the field. But now, like, you can't even use him. He costs too much, and he gets no yardage unless you really know how to use him. There's better options out there. Obviously, Saquon being the number one option. So, with this update that's potentially coming tomorrow, we might see a different way in using him. So that's basically it. There's going to be a couple of other little bug fixes here and there, but those were the main ones. There are two things that I want to talk about. They didn't mention the manual to auto pass glitch. Hopefully they're working on that because that's definitely a top complaint of mine and pretty much the whole community. The other thing was that they said they were working on changing guys are on different teams. I think Patrick Peterson and I believe Odell Beckham will be on a new team. So they're working on that. I don't know if that's coming out this update, but it's something that they said they're working on. The other thing was like I said, I recorded this video before and I forgot to turn the mic on. So tomorrow's the Bobby Wagner versus Michael Thomas event, and it just so happens I opened the chest and I got Bobby Wagner. We looked at him. He's a 4 energy guy. He's a zone defender. So it says a versatile linebacker that will create a coverage zone to defend against short and mid-range plays. Tackling is a specialty, but they will not follow players out of the coverage zone. I'm not really a big a zone coverage guy, but obviously we're gonna have to use him in the event. So I'm not sure how I would use him. I'm gonna try and possibly to play a couple games offline and see. I don't even know who I would even put him in for. I'll probably have to start a whole new like a third deck just for him for the event at least. I have to think about it. But otherwise, I'm excited. I don't have Michael Thomas yet, but apparently I will talk about when the event starts. How it works and the rewards that you could possibly get, which include Bobby Wagner and Michael Thomas. So with that, we'll talk about that tomorrow when the event starts. Please subscribe if you you find these videos informative, you like them. I'm gonna keep pushing out content. If you like what you see, subscribe, like this video, and we'll do this again tomorrow. Have a good day.